bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see.
I don't know how I did that, but now I'm gonna figure out what we're doing up here. Alright, so I ran into a problem here. The old zipper across the front was 3 pieces. That was nice because you could take the centerpiece completely out. Unfortunately, well, what I ran into is it's a little difficult to line that up before you pattern, because you basically want to sew this zipper before you pattern so that it's there, it's not moving, you didn't do it wrong. But it's hard to just gauge what's straight up and down for this zipper section. And the other thing is, I'm an idiot and I'm 1 zipper short because I have to have 3 for the window in the center. So that leaves me, somehow I misordered and that left me 1 short. Now this is a zipper I was going to use for something else, but thankfully it goes all the way across. So what I'm going to do is stick this one on, sew it on, it's all the way across, do my pattern all in 1 piece, then I can just cut down the centers and sew in zippers there. Now I won't be able to take this piece off, but we'll be able to roll it up. But it works out a lot easier if I just sew this whole zipper and get it over with. So that's what we're doing now. Now we can sew that all the way on and it won't be right. I'll have to order another zipper for my back project, but what do you do? I know this is probably not going to go well, but I figured I've been held up for the last 2 days because of rain. But I figured I better put the snaps on this side before I try to do the pattern for the front, because I'll be pulling on it. And if I pull on it and do the pattern that way, it'll be wrong. So this needs to be in place. So I marked these holes the best I could, especially this one being doubled up. It's really, really hard. What I'm doing is using my wood burner with a point in it to do the hole where the snap's going to go. I'm just sending that all the way through. That way it goes through and cauterizes it. Cauterizes it, it's not a wound, but it seals this umbrella as I go through. Hopefully not allowing it to rip any. Like I said, these holes probably not going to be right, but I did the best I could. That's the other problem in this mountain too. We just had 2 days of rain where I couldn't work. And now we'll have wind all day. On this one we need, that's the side that's on the boat. So we need this piece. So now what we do is we have our little kit, and it's the biggest one. So this goes underneath. So now put that in there, pound her on. Been hoping the wind will keep getting little gusts, but so far it hasn't been bad enough to rip my thing down. I got it all drawn out now, so let's go take it off. So, after a couple of days, I happened to get back to woodworking, pay the bills. We're back to our windshield pattern. We've got it laid out. What we're going to do now is trace it onto the clear vinyl. Now, the one thing I learned is with this permanent marker, you've got to let it dry before you fold it or anything. Because I got a line here that was from the old pattern from the one before. And do the same thing. What we're going to do is take our double-sided tape, run it down this edge so we can stick it to the vinyl and fold it over. Now, this is the outside, so it's going to go underneath. This stuff is so hard to pull off without pulling the sticky off at first, and then once you do that, it sticks pretty well, but at first it is hard. I'm surprised this stuff is working as well as it is. I left it up on the boat, covered, but the moisture got in it. Just, you know, anytime you cover something with a tarp. So that's on there now. And now we'll fold it like that. And that'll be our edge. We'll sew that across. So I'm doing my best right here to figure out how to come around this corner and make it look somewhat decent. I put a little tape, inside tape on that. I'm going to try to fold this around and see what we look like. My strips are literally just barely long enough. Fold that. I guess that needs to go straight up, doesn't it? So I got this piece in here, this metal piece, same thing. I used a point in the wood burner to push him through and then line him back up. Now we have an X-Acto knife in the wood burner. And I'm going to attempt to cut the inside. You have to let it heat back up. Actually works pretty well. Surprised. Okay, so I have to say I'm pretty impressed. It's far from perfect, not even close, not even remotely, but it's done and it's there and it'll keep the weather off. I'm debating now on whether the old one has a cut here for this pass-through window, which, like I said, on my boat it's kind of a pain in the butt to get through here, plus I've got the panel here now. So I'm debating on whether or not to do that cutout. But yeah, it's been I am off a little bit in some places, and what I did yesterday was I brought the windshield piece up that I made yesterday, and I was a little tight on the sides, so what I did was I fit it on the best I could, then I went back and I just cut the zippers off and moved them over and sewed them back on, and then in the back I was kind of loose, so I did the same thing. I just, instead of modifying the whole piece I cut, I just moved the zipper and then re-sewed it. But I mean, it's gonna give me a place to get up out of the rain. Now, because I don't have a back, I'm still debating on what to do there. I have an idea for the back that might help, but because I'm not going to close the back in, it will just sitting still. If the rain's blowing sideways, it's going to get in. But the reason I set this up was more like a dodger. If I'm moving forward, more than likely the rain's hitting this way and it's going to be fairly dry. I won't be sitting there totally exposed. I have to say, I mean, it came out better than I was nervous attempting this. I've never sewn anything in my life besides leather by hand, and I was able to do it. So, like, my biggest thing was I should have started from scratch. I should have bought a brand new bimini with bows and everything that were squared and started from scratch, because that is one problem I'm going to run into, is once this bimini is gone, these panels aren't going to fit. Because the top isn't straight, the bows aren't straight. I basically built it to what it is. But, and I guess that was my fault. I should have started from scratch, but because I paid to have the bimini top redone, I had to use it. That was a lot of money. I paid way too much for it, I know. But yeah, to do it all over again, I would have just bought a brand new bimini and built the frame off of it, nice and square. That way, if you ever needed to replace it, you can. But we'll worry about that when we get there. That's some umbrella, so it shouldn't go anywhere anytime soon. But I'm impressed.